Top top morning, laddies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku Gains the Powers of Infinity. Yeah. The in this What If, the Zuko was born with zero. Basically, not like quirkless or useless or anything like that. His power is zero, opposite to infinity. So he can basically does the same thing in what infinity does, but he can, or like how All for One does, but instead of doing it like the normal way, he can also copy people's memories, like see into their memories. He also or copies their personalities and all that stuff. So, yeah. And he's immortal with this power. And he does have a quirk. And I'm also thrown in a one special person that I always do is Zumi. Because there's two different roads to go home. So, but we'll be mostly focused on Zuko. Because for Zumi, he chose to like have her do the like her brother from Zuko from canon version kind of route, but she has a quirk and a fire manipulation. Zuko has a elemental manipulation, so he can bring boulders, people to him or away, or make him fly. He even he could control gravity. So basically, he can, without having to touch it like how Ochako does it. But Zuko, wherever his finger thing, like when he points upwards, it's just his pointy finger at that moment. So he can point up, everyone goes up. If everyone wants to come down, they all like come down. Boom. If everyone goes, yeah, it's like that movie where, or like that games where it's like left, right, up, up, down, down. Like left, right, up, down, down. Kind. So, and yeah. So, and in this alternate what if thing, Ochako meets him earlier. Like, she was only age of 3 when, after Zuko and Zumi were born. So, meets them at age of 3. She always wants to, like, she always thinks about Zuko. Oh, how cute he is. And she doesn't really care if he gained the power of, or like gained the quirk of infinity and zero. And when I was making this what if, I was thinking about Rimuru, how he can absorb things and he could mimic them at any will. So yeah, that's what I was trying to go for. But bear with me now. Don't think ahead too hard. Okay? So Zuko ends up now a little bit of like just a tiny bit time skip. So Zuko and Zumi were at Quirk Doctor's. Of course, for you new people that come into these videos or like watch these videos, hi, and I'm gonna explain it. And so, for you new guys, I said new guys, NEW. Okay, I spelled it out. So instead of news, so yeah, so the Quirk Doctor tells Zumi that she has fire manipulation quirk, and of course, he tells Zuko that he's quirkless. And the parents, Aaron's, will the tells him or tells them or like they spend more time with Zumi than with Zuko because the whole shenanigans with Zuko being quirkless, but in reality, Zuko has a quirk actually, and his ability of zero has another thing I forgot to mention. His ability zero doesn't allow anyone stealing his quirk or his abilities. Basically, he's off limits. So, all for one, and would never steal his quirk. So, yeah. So, basically, he was crying. He wants to learn how his sister was able to get the quirk and he doesn't. But there's one thing I almost forgot. He has a power level thing. It, like if he absorbs like to 100%, his body starts to really feel it. He gains if he reaches it like 100%, it like he like gains that power. And every like if it was like every 5 point or every 5 a like percent like the here let me every 5% of what he gains a new power. Depends on like he could create space stone, mind stone, or no, hold on, let me space stone, mind stone. I keep calling them stones, but they're powers. So mind, soul, power, reality, everything. Like the entire Infinity Gauntlet. And every time that like if he reaches 100% without things, he gains the infinity power hour that makes him the most powerfulest person in the world. Some of you are probably like, what? Huh? Yeah. So, and currently, so he hangs around with Ochako, Ochako and him are best friends. So Ochako still has a love for him. So then time skip to 15. As Ochako like you or does her like little things, she hangs around with him. And then now it's USJ. Or no, UA. Sorry, not USJ. Not yet though. So yeah, basically Zuko was here. Zuko was basically was very strong. As one day he discovered, or like actually at age of 5, no, at age of 6, his friend Bakugo was bullying him as he needs to knock it off and all that stuff. As Bakugo shouts back of the like he really does have a foul mouth. But then when when Bakugo explosions, Zuko caught his arm, like caught his hand and but the explosion didn't go off. As Bakugo looks over, as he turns and sees a green-haired version of himself standing, holding his own hand. As Zuko, he sounds like Zuko, Zuko sounds like Bakugo's, or when, as Bakugo is confused on why Zuko looks like and him with green hair. As Ochako is like confused on which one. As he says, "What's wrong? Okay?" And Zuko was like, or Bakugo says, "You kind of look like me." As his goons are like, "Yeah, you look so much like our boss, the Bakugo." As he looks at the mirror, he sees him as Bakugo. That's weird. As he's itching his own head, as Bakugo isn't even near him, feels an itch right here, or like on top of his head. As Bakugo is like, "Who's doing that?" As Zuko, as Bakugo is like, "I don't know who's doing that, but knock it off." As Zuko turns around, as he's like, what the heck? What do you mean? None of us are even near you. Yeah. As he doesn't know what they're doing, so he lends his hair. He goes back to normal. As Ochako was still like hugged with him so much. Yeah, she hangs out with him way more in this What If than in canon. So, yeah. So now, back to 15. So they go to UA. Of course, Ochako did tell Zuko before her that she wants to date him. Yeah, innocent girl. Oh, oh, tells Zuko, oh, that she wants to date him, as he sure says sure. And so they were holding hands together. Yeah, because yeah. So then he also, that Bakugo's explosion was as Lang. Zuko uses his power he unlocked the purple, or like the power stone on Azuku, or actually not or not power, reality, without him even realizing he was. So basically, Ochako does her thing, and then Zuko was trying to think about the. He feels weird as he looks down because he doesn't know why, but some reason his body felt like it evolved. And Zuko, as his head starts to itch again, and as he doesn't even know why. Yeah. As a yeah, so he was at home, or no, his parents usually aren't home when or they are doing something. They absolutely ignore him. So Zuko was like, yeah. So the robots, like the from the quirk test thing, Zuko, who his eyes start to like change colors as he covers his eyes as he's rubbing them. Like he doesn't know why. As he looks up, or he doesn't look at Ochako because he knows that he's in the front of a line. So he doesn't know why. That's a funny thing. Zuko doesn't know why he has like what's going on. So when Zuko uses when he looks up, the doors open up before. As Zuko runs through, as most of the students said, he cheated and all that stuff. But then, of course, Zuko it was let's say the 3-pointer is about to kill him, and Zuko's eye, like his eyes start to flare up, like someone just, like how Levi in this one right here, that eye right here. Well, Zuko used it as all the 1-pointers, 2-pointers, 3-pointers randomly exploded. Like they all just, like they weren't just a pop. No, they were like explosions. As there was nothing remains. No remains on robots. As everybody's jaws, like, everybody saw how, as Zuko's, like, covers his eyes, and he doesn't know why he did it. So only person that was there that really saw what, or like through the camera in the main, or like the whatever room, when Nasashi saw what Zuko did, and when he zoomed in on Zuko's face, he saw, like, instead of his son's normal green eyes, like he always likes, he saw red eyes this time. The explosion, or as he doesn't remember it. As he walks home, or he drops off Ochako, and he walks to his house. Of course, the villains try to kidnap him. But the Zuko, who's half his brain, like his eye, one of his eyes turned into like red, because I'm going for color. Like how her red, or she has a red eye. Well, when it activated, the villains and the car were turned into, or no, actually the car turns into a lobster, or no, actually a crocodile, giant sized crocodile, and starts eating the villains from the insides, like of it. And yeah, then Zuko is like, he gets these bad headaches when he, like, he doesn't remember, or he doesn't remember getting, like, because he's quirkless. But why isn't he being, like, a human? His mind's, as he's looking away to make sure. Yeah. So he kind of looks like Levi. He. So, yeah. Zuko ends up, he doesn't understand. As he goes like, what the heck just happened? As he goes home, and of course he cooks himself some food. Then he goes to bed. because his parents are always not home. So he always ends up the and he doesn't understand and what's going on with him. It's like first he starts with or so he is just texting like his friends and or actually to as Zuko ends up looking like he always looks so fresh. Like he doesn't need to basically as he always dreams about him and Ochako getting together and like yeah. But yeah. So he doesn't know what is going on with him. So Zuko next morning Zuko ended up being in class 1A because he has a highest count. Like basically he has infinite and so he passes anyone. Like he can pass every score. Like no one can even get up to his level. So, yeah. Basically Zuko was strong. Or is strong. Because his zero converts all that like the attacks. Like if Dark Shadow uses his like quirk to try to like claw at the Zuko, instead of him like bleeding out, it fuels his Zuko's limiter and gives him enough extra energy to burn off. Like he stayed so young. So yeah. So then he ends up in class 1A. Bakugo was in class 1A. He puts his feet up on a chair. He does all that stuff as Bakugo was like, hey, how did you feel? Or actually, Bakugo changed his tune. Because instead of seeing... Or actually, Bakugo... Or no, not Bakugo. Todoroki... Or no, not Todoroki. Tenya tells... Or was like focused on Bakugo. He turns and sees Zuko. How do you feel? Or actually, Mr. Azahoa was there, but he asks, how do you feel? Well, pretty messed up, but I'll survive. I don't understand some of my, like, power or any in this world. So, yeah. So, Zumi was there in class 1A as so I'm skipping the ball throw because when Zuko hits the ball or when he threw the ball, it had infinity. So did Ochako. As in he doesn't understand. And so Zuko, he's trying to think as he slaps himself in the face. Or not really slaps him, he just like. And when he like thumbs himself in the head, the. Well, or let's say he was trying to think on what he's. Or what they're. Like, how will I put this? How he felt as when he a thing that he did touch his forehead, and everybody's like Ochako's everybody's body went behind him. He's the only one that's unaffected by his own power. As he turns around, he looks around. What the heck happened? As he doesn't understand what he just did. As everyone couldn't even move except for him. As he points to Lang, like back to him, as everyone was back to normal. Like, what just happened? As he doesn't even know what just happened, he just he thinks. I think that was like gravity switch or something like that. Why aren't you affected by it? As Ochako says that. Here, let me try. As Ochako puts her hand on his arm, and when it activated, it did nothing. Like her quirk does nothing to him. Like, that's weird. As Bakugo, everyone looks at Zuko like, dude, what do you have? I don't know what you have, but you were affected by gravity? That seems like a weird thing to do. No? And she doesn't even know why. As Bakugo, as Jiro wanted to test something, as she asks him if that's okay to test something on you. Okay. And Zuko, or as Jiro uses her quirk to plug into like Zuko's back to see, as she cranks up the music thing of her quirk, and surprisingly, it wasn't he had a book. As the Jiro's quirk made him reach 20. So, like 20 plus 5, because the Bakugo's quirk was that he used on Zuko boosted him up to 5, so plus the 20 because of Jiro equals 25. As Zuko's is after Ochako or after Jiro's entire body, or no, after Jiro used her quirk on him, as his body starts to really start to feel it, as his eyes start to change into, like, I said each one is 5. Or, no, the Infinity Stones. So he unlocked the reality, mind, soul, because that's 5, 10, 15. Wait, mind, soul, power. Wait, reality, mind, soul, and power. That's 5, 10, 15, 20. I don't remember the other Infinity Stones, so space. That's the number 5. As his eyes start to flicker between all of those, man, as Class 1A, he runs up to him, as he really starts to feel it. Like, I don't know what you did, Jiro, but as his eyes start, as they see, as he looks up, as Mr. Izawa sees different colors' eyes, like red, blue, green, or actually, let me show you what I'm referring to. So he unlocked reality, space, mind, and soul. Because that was, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So if he reaches 30%, he gets a time stone. Yeah. So, because, and when he reaches 100, he really starts to, as Zuko, those eyes are like flickering between like these 5. As Mr. Izawa's like, what happened to you? And, or actually, he says, well, as Zuko turns around, and he, because he has Space Stone, he opens the portal in anywhere in the world, as he couldn't control himself. As Jiro, everybody, or like, the entire world could, or actually, Mr. Zawa heard that whoever contains, because in this alternate universe, whoever contains the infinity power can rule all. So basically, every universe, multiverse, everything. So Zuko is fighting against himself. As basically, yeah. So when he came back to UA, he was lying on the ground. He doesn't even know what just happened to him. He's been as Ochako and Class 1A could detect him, as they asked him, or when he gets up, as Ochako doesn't even really care if he had that much power. To her eyes, she sees him as himself. Like, he treats her, or no, actually, she treats him as the person instead of a tool. So Zuko's body wasn't, like, fully woken up yet. That was a sugar rush right there. As Jiro was like, man, whatever I did, sorry about that. I thought you were doing something strange. Well, something tells me that it's at 25%. Really? Yeah. The first time that I reached 5, or like the first time that I don't know it, because I didn't have that much power. But when I looked over at, or when Zuko looks over at Bakugo, as he asks Bakugo, like, do you remember you who said that I looked like you? Yeah. That's weird. As his eyes start to turn red again, as he's covering both of his eyes, as he says Senogun. As Mr. Aizawa says, well, you are now more valuable than you think, Zuko. And yeah. So what is your plans if Zuko, or if you decide to take over the world? And Zuko really didn't think that much. He said that he would rather be a hero than being a, like, you know, he would rather hang out with Ochako than having to kill everybody. As Ochako is blushing, and based off of, because Zuko unlocked the Mind Stone thing, she looked at him with, like, the puppy dog eyes. Or, like, she knows that she's embarrassed, but she tells him, based off of her look, that look could kill a person. But to Zuko, he knows that she gets loved by her. So then, him and her were still dating. Of course, Ochako, when after the look thing, after she and him left, she yells at him for not being that, or don't use that power in our relationship, okay? Yeah, if you gain the infinity. As he kissed her, as he tells her that, and he won't, if he does try to, like, take over the world, he would rather have her with him as his queen. Because, yeah, but he's not planning to take over a world. As she went from this to being like this, because how much she loves him. Because she used to like love on him from age of 3, like after they met, to right now, because they, yeah, because he doesn't want to, because she knows that she always hears him tells Bakugo that if I ever got a quirk, I would become a #1 hero. That's all I ever want. Okay? As Ochako and Zuko became, like, more than best friends, they became lovers. Yeah, between her and him, so, yeah. So, Zuko's body, so he looks way younger. Like, he looks like a 3-year-old. Oh. As one of the students pointed out, like, are you, like, shorter than normal? And Zuko thinks that. Because most of the girls, like, when I say most of the girls, like, I'm not talking about the Class 1A, Momo, Mina, like, Wrong Girl, and Invisible Girl, and Jiro. I'm talking about the entire UA. Because Class 1B sees a adorable Zuko that they want. Yeah. And plus a support course girls. Like her want him. Yeah. They all wanted him. As how adorable he is, because so then he always kept a journal right next to his bed. Sorry. So he wrote down, or so he remembers the percentage as Zuko's power level, or it said power. Each one is 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah. So when it like went up to 25, Zuko was like, man, I don't know who wrote in my book, but man, that was scary. And so the USJ, I'm skipping the USJ because it's going to be funny, but plus it also is boring. So catch you in part 2. See you at the the USJ. So peace.